Very first talk, which is an intro to React, setting up a project and getting started with your very first one. Hopefully you can go to production in the next half an hour. We'll see. Please welcome Tanya.
Oh, you can do that.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm just trying to start and then I listen. Hello. Okay, that's nice. Okay, cool. So today we will have a talk, like a first one. I'm really nervous because it's actually my first talk ever on a meetup. And we will talk about the React Start for Dummies. Okay, so who is Tanya Butenko? I'm Tanya Butenko. My background actually is completely non-developing kind of things. I have a Bachelor of Arts. I'm a teacher of literature. And around maybe like a year and a half ago, I decided to start programming. I attended academy, finished the courses, and then started to work in ThoughtWorks. Then I didn't stay with them for a long time. I moved back to General Assembly. And now I'm a training assistant in this academy for like web development immersive courses. So I'm teaching front end and back end for Ruby, Ruby on Rails, and JavaScript, and a little bit of Node. But when I do have a free time, I actually doing a little bit of React, yeah, and all other kind of interesting stuff. Okay, so what we'll do today? I guess everyone knows what is React up here. It's pretty cool framework for JavaScript, a JavaScript framework that has like a components inside of the components, and so on. And it has a lot of different cool features. And I guess everyone knows how to write components and do the stuff. So maybe like a few months ago, I made my first application on React, and I wasn't sure how to start, so I just like went and Googled for something like React boilerplate, and got it for my computer. I started working, but then like maybe within a few days I realized that I have no idea how it actually works. And I decided, I started Googling, I started to look for the things, and I decided that actually what I need to do, I just need to take empty folder and do everything from scratch. It took me a while, but I made this presentation. After that, like maybe it took me a few weeks to complete it. And I've been holding this presentation and actually a workshop for General Assembly students a few times already. But it was not just presentation, it was actually a live coding, and everyone was coding. And every student had in the end application with which they could actually start doing React. So we will build a React application today on Node with webpack that helps us to build the stuff, babel that will compile it, ES6 to ES5. I decided to use like cool feature like React bootloader. I really like it. It just like really helps to do development because I can see straight away what's going on. And another thing that I just recently added is end-to-end tests, so functional tests, nightwatch, and unfortunately we will need to use Selenium, and the unit test we will do with a tape, and it's actually quite easy. It's way easier rather than using Justmine with Karma and all this stuff. Okay, coding time. By the way, we will be doing everything live time, so yeah, it's my first time live coding. What can go wrong, right? Let's do it. Can everyone see? Everything is good? Okay. Okay, so yeah. Okay. So we are starting from scratch. It's just an empty folder. I called it like just like React. Hello React. Okay, so one of the main things, like you never did it before, you want to start it, what you need to have on your machine, you need to have a node actually. And same time, like I guess everyone knows that right now is like node version 4 is stable, so I'm using node 4. So we can actually go and just check. Oh, sorry. If someone doesn't know, we just do node-v to check on our version. Okay, so to start up, to actually initialize our application with Node, we do npm init. Then it gives us a lot of different information, and same time, sorry for that. And then we actually prompted to like with different kind of questions. So what are those things are? In fact, we are manually filling in our package.json file. So the name, like hello React, yeah, okay, it works, version 1, description, I don't know, React build from scratch. Okay, we'll do our entry point, index.js, okay, we'll do test comment. We don't have any tests at the moment for the start. So we can put our Git repository, we can always add it later. Keywords, React, webpack, babel. Author, Tanya Butenko, license, let's do it MIT. Okay, so now we can see what we actually have in our package.json. If everything is fine, we'll just type yes. Cool. Sorry for this part, but now we have our package.json file. So what is this, like, what is this file about? It just kind of, everyone can see it's a JSON format. So we have a bunch of information, and it's actually kind of intro. If you want to read anything about the project, you can actually always go to package.json and read the information. We can add a lot of different other fields up here, like our Git repository, the link to our issues, bugs. We can add up scripts that in fact help us to run the comments, and so on. And same time, it's a file where we are storing our dependencies and dev dependencies. So if anyone worked with Rails, it's kind of junk file as well, see, that keeps the information about different dependencies. Okay, so easy part is done. Now what we need to do, we want to use React, so we need to install it. If you do npm install -sd React and React DOM, it will run. So we're installing React, and as you know, React is a modules, is a components and so on. But to connect React with outer world, in our main file, we will actually be required to use React DOM now. That's why we have React DOM. Okay, and same time, if we update our file, mine update is not really working proper. If we update the file, we will see React and React DOM. So now it's in this package.json file. And actually, I should just save it as dependencies, not tab. But it's okay. I think it will still work. Okay, so the next step, we have this like React, that's good, but we want to build somehow. We want our files to be actually connected in our project. That's why I decided to use webpack and webpack.server. Okay, so what webpack does, it actually goes, takes all the files, connects them kind of together. It goes to different modules and check on different requirements and imports, and connect it all together in one bundle file that we will be actually reading in the end. There is some people use Gulp or Ground. I don't know, I actually prefer Webpack, because I think it's quite easy to understand what's going on up there. Okay, so another thing what we will need is a babel, and as some of you might know, the babel is now is version 6. That is a little bit, was disturbing for me because I had it for older version at first, so I had to change these kind of things. So they broke a babel on two main libraries, is babel core and babel cli. And same time now, if we want to transpile, sorry for my English, to transfer the GS and GSX files, GS6 to GS5, to compile it there, we actually need to use a special packages for that from Babel. So we can use like a different presets or transform, it depends what kind of things we'll be doing. And actually, if you go on the official website, you can read all this information, and they have all the things for installation, how to do it for React now with a new Babel version. So we will install Babel CLI and Babel preset, yes, 2015, and Babel preset React. Okay, and now we have the Babel, but to actually make our project work with the Babel, we will need a Babel loader as well. Okay, it takes time. At the same time, if you pay attention, now we have this node modules folder. Oh, it's so slow. Okay, so we have a node modules folder up here, and if you go inside, you will see all our libraries. So that's where they're stored. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it just won. Yeah, I should actually break it down, because Babel now is way bigger than it used to be. Okay, while it's loading, we can do a next step that doesn't require loading things. So we have all this bunch of things. Now we need our program to actually know how to work with all together. And what we need to have in our project is webpack.config.js file, where we store a bunch of different information as well. Oh, okay, it's done. So we are creating a file, webpack.config.js. And now I'm too lazy to type all these settings. So I already have like presets, so it doesn't take that much time for all of us. Okay. And I will explain it now. Okay, so where I took this information, there is like a bunch of different places where you can read about Webpack. But same time, in documentation, they do have a really good description of webpack.config.js file, what it is, and what kind of data is stored inside. Because it's like, if someone is coming up here and reading like, what the hell is all of this like letters, words, and so on, you can read up there. They have like really detailed explanation for the things. So if you need to make some configurations for your particular project, you can go up there and change a lot of different things. So what we have different stuff. We have like entry point, and our entry point, like I just decided that it will be a folder scripts and main.js. Like we can go and change it, as I said, like just because I had this file preset. We have output. It's like, because our Webpack will be building our project, it will go and start in main.js and check all the other things that we actually importing up there. And we'll check all the documents and build them in our file called bundle.js. And I decided that it will be stored in public path in a folder static. That's how they recommend it on webpack.config.js documentation. Resolve. This one thing I added because when I'm calling for the file, when I import or require it will just recognize files with .js and .jsx. So I just can write just the name of the file. But when we will have, like, for example, hello.js, when I import it, I can just call hello, which will know that it's my file. And so modules. Modules is, here we have like a bunch of different folders, but everything what we have in a module is actually the things that can influence on our modules. So right now, because we will be using GS6, we are using a loader that will actually compile our GS6 files. And we are saying that the thing that we want to compile is GS6 or GS. The loader which will help us up, it's a babel presets CS 2015 and presets React that we were installing before that. And include pass result scripts, because all of our code I'm planning to keep in my folder scripts. I'm just specifying that we need to include this folder to go and compile, transfer all those files from this particular folder. Why we do that? Because as you saw, we have a node modules folder, and most of the stuff there is actually like GS6, like 6. So then you will have a lot of really weird mistakes, errors, and so on. You can do as well exclude this particular folder node modules, but they recommend to use include. Stats colors true is just like the stats that we are having down there. They will be colorful. And we have our dev server up here. Yeah, so we just cut in the chunks and give it the colors. Okay, so our next step. So now we have this webpack config.js file. What we want to do, we want to go to our package.json, to our scripts, and specify our start point, and it will be our webpack dev server. And we want to specify our build, and our build, it will be webpack. Okay. Cool. So what we're doing next, we can actually start coding. Let's create our index HTML. Oh, Jesus, yes, that's right. Okay, index HTML. And yes, while our Babel were loading, actually, we forget about Babel loader. npm install SD. So if someone doesn't know, SD stands for save dev. which means that it will go and save it for dev dependencies in our package.json file. So SD babel loader. Okay, this one should be fast. Okay, so, okay, good. So as you saw before, I specified folder scripts where we'll be keeping all our code. So we just create a folder. And 2 files. First, index.js, and let's do our first component flow.js. Okay, so now we have our folder. Let's start with our index.js. First of all, let's start with our index.html. So we have all our basic stuff. We want to put somewhere our code, so let's create a div with a div container, and put a script. And a script. Scripted will be our bundle.js file, where all the code will be compiled, connected. So, yeah, because all the static bundle.js. Okay, our HTML file is done, and we will actually never touch it again. Okay, our index.js. Let's start off with that. So we're doing the main things. We need to get our React. We need to get our React DOM, and we will be using it only for first page. To connect our React components and virtual DOM with a real DOM. Okay, we will same time we will use our component hello. Like that. Hello. Okay. We'll create our React DOM. React DOM render, and we are passing in our element that we will be actually putting in, and where we will be putting it in. Sorry, query select. Query select. We're going out of the screen. Yeah. Query select will be our container. Okay, cool. So that's all what we need. That's all what we need for our index file. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yes, sure. Selection. Yeah. Okay, let's go to our hello.js and create our first component. So things we need our React as well. React. Okay. The console. Yes. So we're actually just creating a really simple style mesh just to show up in the reports. Return, we'll just return D. And then we need to export it. Exports. Hello. Okay, that's fine for now. We'll find out soon, so. Okay, are you ready to start? Okay. Hold it somewhere, hold it somewhere. Oh yeah, I know what's the problem. Yeah, it should be index.js. Our entry point. Our index.js. Yeah. This one. We have our. Okay. Okay. Hopefully now it will work. Yay! Great build! That's good. Hello world. The hardest part is done. Okay, so now we have it, and it's cool. Okay, another thing. So that is actually the main kind of build. That's all what you need just to start. All the other things that I will be adding is just like just the things that I just want to show up. So the next one will be React hot loader. It's really cool. So we're doing npm install. Let's see. Hot loader. Okay. So the reason why I wanted to show you this one is just because so we got something new that will actually if someone of you doesn't know what is React hot loader, it's just a thing that goes and check up all the time for any kind of update that we have in our code, and just like straight away shows it up on the screen. So we don't need to refresh our page if we're changing something in HTML or even in our code. So it's pretty cool. It's really good for development. And another thing why I decided to show it up, because we got this one. So how to work with anything new that we are adding up. There is a few places where we need to go and add the things. But when you read the documentation about any kind of package that you actually installing and want to work on your project, you can always go, and they always have a section explaining how it actually works with Webpack and how to connect it all together. So the thing that we will do now, we will actually go to our webpack.config.js file. It's right here. Okay, and what we need to do, in our modules we actually specified that all the JSX and JS6 files will be transferred into JS5. And if we add something, we want our React code go straight away and know about it before it is compiled actually. So in our loaders, we need to add just a React code. Yeah, React code. So we're adding React code. If we actually add it after the babel, it will not work. Very tricky. And another thing that we need to do is in our entry, right now we have our entry point, our index.js file, but we need to tell about hot loader, so it actually will be updating it before it gets there. So it's like constantly checking up on the things and showing up on the screen. So what we need to do, webpack .server client. And we have our client here at the moment.
Client typo.
Yeah. Because our server needs to know about these updates as well. And the next thing it will be webpack. Oh no, webpack. What? Only that server. So all this information you can find up like when you actually installing this package. And another thing we need to add is a plugin. So plugins, it's another cool stuff up here. So if you're actually working with different things, and they might require some additional plugins for their proper work. So it will be a new. Category placement plugin. Already in this type anywhere. Okay. And I think that's it. Okay, it will be green. Cool. So now I want to show you how cool it is. Yeah, what all this work about. Okay, so you can see our local host up here, our code is up here. So if we, yes, okay, please start. Okay, so here, I don't know, we can type anything up, save it there, and you can see straight away it's appearing there. So if you want to get rid of this stuff, back, it refresh. And the coolest part about it is that it doesn't refresh all the page. It just refreshes this particular div where we made some changes. Ooh. Okay, let's do some tests. We don't have much time left. 5 minutes. Okay, shall we do a test? Okay, let's finish up with a test. Let's do a functional test. It is one of the cool things that I found out like maybe a few weeks ago. Not the functional test, I mean, but the nightwatch, the library that I'm going to use, the package that I'm going to use for testing. Okay, so for that, this nightwatch package is actually written on Node.js, and it uses Selenium API. So unfortunately, we need to deal with Java as well. If you have an old version of Java on your machine, you might have some problems with that as well. So you will need to have a new version, latest version of Java. Nightwatch. Okay. So this nightwatch is actually allows us to do end-to-end testing, and same time I find it not really hard to connect with like to make it work with connection continuous integration. So it actually fully automated tests, so it's really comfortable. Okay, and we need Selenium standalone. Okay, so to work up with nightwatch, we will actually need a nightwatch.json file. Where we will specify configurations that we need for our testing. There it is. I already have a file for it as well, so this one is done. There it is.
Just from quick start.
Yeah, this JSON file you actually take from the official installation things. The only thing I just changed here is so all the much information that they have your source folder where you actually have your tests. You can do the output for any kind of folder. I will have it in reports, e2e tests. It has all the different bunch of different passes that you might choose for your project. This is some of the stuff for Selenium because we will need to run it in a separate host. And then different things of settings for test. Default browser, so you can actually test it in different browsers and specify the settings for it as well. Yeah, so I just took it from the official installation things. Okay, let's create this folder, main directory. Tests and a file. Yes. Okay. Tests. Our file for tests. To make it faster. I already have a test for it, so. Okay. So we're just doing module export. We name our test. We're checking up with the browser, and our default browser was specified in our nightwatch.json file. We tell it the URL, and it will be the URL that we are having our server running on 8080 for this particular project. So what it does is wait for element, it waits for body, gives us a little bit of time, and then we just assert if it actually contains the text hello world, and then it ends. So you can put in some more tests up here, or you can add other files up there and make them run. Okay, so we have the test, we have all the things up here. Now what we need to do, we need to actually install our Selenium one time on machine. So we do node modules .reading Selenium standalone install. Okay, so we do it once per project. Okay. After that, what we will do to run our tests and check if they are working, we will need to run our Selenium in one window, run our project in another window, and in third window we will be starting our tests. So to run Selenium, of course you can make a comment in your package.json file in your scripts, so you don't need to type it every time. Sorry. So we start
Modules.
Oh, that's terrible.
Nope. Just use tab.
Oh. This one? What? No. Okay. Sorry. Modules.
Just tab.
That doesn't.
It's the folder.
Oh yeah, Selenium server is running. Okay, in the second window we start our project. And start. It was all green. if I remember. Yay. Okay, so now we run our tests up here. To do so, we should do say model dot the nightwatch. Woohoo! Green test. Yeah. And as I said, you can easily go to your package.json, package.json file, to your scripts, and write, this is like tests, write something like test which and use this command that we had, what was the
Just a nightwatch. The search it doesn't.
No, it doesn't work with nightwatch, trust me.
Okay.
Node modules, green, nightwatch. Okay. So you can do it this way and then just do run test. Huh?
npm.
Oh yeah, run npm test v3.
The other way around.
What?
npm run.
Just never tell me that I don't have much time, so I'm getting nervous. Okay, so you can do it this way. So that's what you're using the scripts for. That makes it more easy. Okay, cool. And the last thing for today is unit tests. So for that we will be using a tape. npm install sd tape. Those ones. Yeah, so the reason why I decided to use tape, because it's very easy. When you are using just mine, you actually need to have like a bunch of different other things, and it's more complex. It's like bigger library and so on. And you need to use a karma and other kind of ones. With the tape, you just need to have like one little library tape, and it's quite handy to use it as well. Okay, so we created directory tests. And create our file. Yeah, and so we use it for JS. So we use those tape for unit tests. Tests, JS. So what we need to do here, we need to get our tape, where it was just require tape.
Around tests.
Why?
It's just table tests.
I didn't use it before. If it doesn't work, it's your fault.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so, and of course, like by name, you understand that we will be testing now only component hello. So we need to get this one as well. Okay, my side. Scripts. Okay, so we have our simple test for hello component. In this kind of way, so we are checking hello is the instance of function. And the message that it gives us should be function. Just a second. Yeah. And the last what we are doing, we are closing our test.
It's a function like T, fat arrow, curly braces.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, here. Okay. Let's save it. So we have our tests. What we need to do, we can actually go to our package.json, and we have our tests running up here, not specified. So we can change it up here. Same time, it should be compiled with babel, of course. So we can just do a babel node. And we wanted our presets that we had before. Presets, yes, 2015. And React.
No space.
React. And I'll call the tests. And any file with extension, yes. Okay. Whew. That's one. Okay. Test. Cool. I can see the screen. I love it. Oh, good. I hope you're not getting very bored by all of that, me typing. So that's what actually I wanted to show you today. Unfortunately, we don't have any more time for different kind of loaders like style loader, CSS loader. But I have like one reason why I actually was not sure to include them or not, because the tape test will not really work proper if you have, it depends what kind of way you will get your CSS up on your components. So I decided not to go too deep in this kind of topic today and put them maybe for another time. Yeah. Okay. Questions? Questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Excellent first presentation.